You are now listening to Carlie's Couch.
I'm Carlie.
And I'm Lex.
In this podcast, we discuss a wide array of topics about life and how to live your best life.
Whatever that looks like for you.
Hope y'all enjoy.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
How you doing today, Lex?
That's crazy. I'm straight. My client accidentally overpaid me, double paid me last week. So I said, God, thank you. I appreciate the blessings you've given to me. Speaking of this week's topic, which we'll get to. But, yeah, that was a game changer. And then today I've been feeling good. And this week I've been feeling good because I've been very busy. So, unfortunately, I don't know, like my identity be tied to it. I feel good when I'm getting stuff done. And so when I feel like I have a clear set of things in front of me, and like when I can see like, oh, when I actually can start doing it and get in the zone and like get things done, I'll be like, oh, bet, like I feel good. So I feel good.
Man, we just talked about that with validating your worth. So if you feel like things on the outside are validating your worth,
So get your shit together.
Check out our episode 129, validating your worth and getting away from allowing external things. But we're all human, and inevitably that happens. I've been feeling pretty good this week too. A lot of crazy stuff happening in the world, but that's every day. I feel like I've been more present, so that's been a goal of mine. And
what makes you think that?
Because
what are you measuring?
My ability to be in the moment and not allow things that happen around me or to me to toss my emotions too far, like not too high, not too low. Shout out to Jay. I've just been like pretty neutral, like in a state of euthymia or euthymia, however you say your tattoo.
Yo, so I was at the doctor, and she saw my tattoo. She said, "Oh, euthymia," and in my head I said, "Bitch, I've been saying euthymia this whole time." But I didn't say nothing. I was like, mental note on how you actually say this fucking word. That was a side note though. But yeah, it's euthymia apparently. Learn something new every day.
Every day. I have a Japanese symbol tattooed on me, so we can just start laughing about that.
Right, she's like, this
here
whatever.
We are. It means what in my head I think it means, so here we are.
You better ask somebody.
I actually did before I got it tatted. I asked a Japanese person.
Right, like, what is this really talking
exactly.
about?
What does this really mean? Because I don't want a tree tattooed on me. Whatever. But to get into today's episode, today we're talking about receiving. And I think that that's important as people, as women, as businesswomen, as anybody to be better receivers. I think a lot of people identify as givers or takers, obviously. But for a lot of reasons and just a couple of conversations I had in my life recently, I think that going over why receiving is important, how we can all be better at it, is a great thing to start discussing. And so I want to start it with, Lexi, are you a good receiver? No pause.
Because I do want to make a comment about that, but I won't before I get in trouble. But I would say that I'm an okay receiver. I don't want to say I'm bad at it because I think it's different things. But like even today, it was an instance today as we're thinking about this podcast episode where I was a bad receiver, or let me take that back. I processed it like it was like something I really wanted to, my first thought, which wasn't receiving well, but then I was like, nope. And then I actually like accepted what was being said to me. So I caught it enough. So it's like, I'm not terrible, but of course, like it has to go through some things sometimes. It's, when as a person who, I don't know how much of a people pleaser I am, but as a person who enjoys and likes helping other people or like being a good stepping stone or a good resource to people, sometimes I think it's hard to let people help me or be like that resource or that kind of person to me. And so, going back to what you said about our episode on validating yourself and identities, it's one of those things where, depending on how you identify or what you identify with, you may not be a person who is so good at receiving.
Mm-hmm. And we'll definitely get into like the things that hold us back from being able to receive or being good receivers later. But I would say I am an okay receiver. sometimes I'm a lot better than others, and with certain things, I'm a lot better than others. I'm typically a giver. Like you said, I think we identify with like helping people out, trying to be a resource, connecting people, helping build everybody up in ways that we can. And that's something that brings me a lot of joy. And then as someone who is a recovering codependent, I also realize it's not my job to save other people, but that's a whole other episode. And so in the thing of receiving, it's a lot harder because it's not something that I'm used to.
What are some things recently, like if you could think back, maybe let's say within the last 24 hours, that have been offered to you? Like opportunities to receive, rather.
With receive support. So people have been reaching out to me just to, like in life, like friends check on me to make sure that I'm good, see if I need anything, but also with all of the stuff that's happening with the anti-Asian stuff and all of that. Like people have been reaching out just to see if I'm good and checking on me. So shout out to them. I appreciate that. So that's a big one, like to receive support and receive like that type of stuff. Also, one of my friends offered to financially help me with something. And I was just like, oh man, like, no, thanks, you don't have to. And she was like, dog, I know. That's why I'm offering. Like, you never ask for help. And I want to, and I have it. So let me help you. So those are the two biggest ones. So support and finances recently.
I can think, so like I was saying today, it was a compliment. And I think there's a couple instances of compliments that that I have received. And then I would say like assistance or help, but like on small scale, like carrying a bag or helping me like with my car. That bitch was about to blow the fuck up. That thing started smoking a little bit, and I was like, but I'm happy to receive that kind of help though.
Amen.
And I'm trying to think of what else. And things too, / support, kind of in a similar vein, where it's like if I needed something, and they're like, oh, I'll just, I could order it for you or get it for you, and it's like, all right, whatever. So there's lots of things. Like I want us to think about that, because when we're talking about receiving, it's not necessarily just things, but it's words of encouragement, it's words of support. It can be like your waiter at the restaurant, like allowing them to do like what they're supposed to do, because sometimes we don't even receive what people are supposed to be doing, and you're like, oh, don't worry about that. I'll clean it up for you.
Let me stack up all the plates and do all this.
which is fine. But like there's so many different ways that we can receive, and when you open it up like that, now it's like, all right, so how good are you at being okay with taking those offers of love or of support from other people?
And is there, like, on this scale of thinking like small things, like, or not small, let me not say small, but like things that people are supposed to be doing, like waiters or friends offering support or compliments or money or gifts or different things, like do you find yourself more able to receive some types of those versus others? Like if you look at the like spectrum?
Yeah, but now that I think about it too, like even with, sometimes your ego and pride can make it hard to receive even like certain types of support until you're like really like, I'm about to be in the streets type support. And then with compliments and some of those types of things, it's really like, man, it makes you realize like your own self-limiting beliefs are like things that you're internally like don't believe or believe that can make that harder. And so I think maybe it's for a different reason that everything's, at a different level, but maybe not, maybe it not being easier for anything. I think it's easier to receive something that somebody's doing or done versus receiving an offer to help.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense. So like someone's like, oh, you want me to do this or buy this or get this? And it's always gonna be like, no. But if it's like, oh, here's this thing I got you, it's like, well, shit, we're here, so thank you, So maybe that's part of it as well, because now it feels like, and going back to ego pride thing perhaps, now it feels like, oh man, like, I don't want to have to need this or, want to have to accept it, but
here we are.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with not being a good receiver? Like before we delve into like the reasons why and things like that, like what's wrong with not being able to receive?
Well, I'd say first of all, when we talk about living life abundantly, then what does that mean? That's receiving blessings. And for people who grew up in church, or if you're a spiritual or religious person, like one thing that I feel like I see all the time is we talk about being blessed and we talk about blessings and we talk about living life, and things being laid out for you. And yet in the same kind of space, it's like we also feel like we're supposed to be all humble and not accept and, give to others, which you are. But it's all a cycle. And so I think one of the biggest things is that you're blocking your own like cycle of abundance if you're not doing the receiving part, because it's not just about doing for others, but part of it is you're supposed to be living good. Like you're supposed to be all right.
Yep.
So allow things to work out, allow people to give, allow yourself to receive those things. So I think that's a big problem, is that you kind of block off that cycle.
Mm-hmm. And I think that it's also blocking other people's opportunities to be a blessing. Because if it's on their heart to share something, to gift you with something, to pour into your life, like who are we to block their opportunity to, work in their purpose and to work in their gifts and share things? And so not only are we, perpetuating this cycle of lack and blocking abundance for ourselves, but also other people.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like you're dishonoring the person who's giving to you and or not allowing them, as Carlie's saying, to be able to be blessed themselves in the way they give. Because we like giving. Like, if I love every time, like my cousin the other day hit me and was like, yo, cuz, do you have a little extra to give me? I had like $0 2 weeks ago, but I had it this time. So it's like, yeah, whatever, like you got it. And it feels good to help people where you can help people. And so don't forget that feeling as well, that feeling you like so much. Let people feel that with you. Even though it's hard sometimes. Mm-hmm. And then also, like, the more you can receive, the more you can actually give back. So that's one of those things where it's like, let yourself get more so that you can do more. You don't have to look at it as you're a bad person, or you're wrong for accepting something that somebody else is doing for you. I mean, it's all part of this cycle. And so it's important to, breathe in and breathe out. You got to do all of it.
So because this cycle is so important, and it's like we logically and I think inherently kind of understand it, but then we still do the thing. Like we still kind of block our blessings and stop that. So like, what are some good indicators that we actually aren't good at receiving, or that we may be blocking this abundance and these blessings? I
think signs that you're not a good receiver, or things that you can identify with, are my store today. I was told, oh man, you look great today. Man, I was like, oh, no, look, and I didn't even look this as good as I look now, which isn't awesome, but, like, this was before I even, like, slicked back the shit with the Eco Gel. Like, I was, like, and my first thing, anytime somebody's like, wow, you look great, like, and you know how guys always say that when you look trash?
Busted.
Dog.
When you look busted,
yo,
2 damn o'clock in the morning,
man,
where you
hit me on the gram and let me know why y'all like when women look busted. I say it's because y'all feel like they're easily approachable, or it's like, wow, they're bare selves or whatever. But and I'm off a tangent now, like right out of the shower, like when you're getting ready for the day or whatever, I'll look in the mirror like before I do anything. I'm like, wow, like I will feel like, man, I really feel like I look beautiful. But then you pull out your camera and it's like, whoa, this is not it. My eyes sleepy as hell, like red patches on your face, whatever. But anyway, so that's how I was looking earlier. And I was like, oh man, you look great. And my first thought was like, come on, man. Like, we don't got to lie. Like, you know what I mean? You don't got to lie to kick it. Like, it's not that deep. But I didn't say anything. But I know my face showed it. But then I was like, thank you. And so all of that to say, if you find yourself brushing off compliments, or being like, no, or be like, now, I look bad, or, that's not receiving at all. So all of that for that one example.
But I think that's important. And I think that happens often. I think it's, about looks.
That's a big one. And you see people do that all the time.
All the time.
Like, not receive compliments.
Or also noticing if it makes you feel uncomfortable. If somebody, like, compliments you on something, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I'd be feeling hella uncomfortable. Even when it's about, like, work stuff. Like, someone's like, oh, you did a great job. It's like, and then you want to say, like, oh, well, but this or that. It's like, no, thank you.
Oh, man, it was a team effort, this and this and this. It's like, no, I'm actually trying to give you a compliment. Like, receive that. I think that's a big one, especially with work, because people deflect, like, often. It's like, oh, no, I wish we could have did this better. It's like, just
right.
Receive.
It's like, why are you trying to down yourself? In both of these examples, whether it's about you or your performance, it's like, why are you trying to convince them that you're not that?
And so down talking yourself whenever people give you compliments or try to build you up, I think is a big indication also that you might not be good at receiving. And obviously another one is refusing help, or like not asking for help, or not allowing people, like if you know you need to pay rent and someone is offering to help you and there's nothing crazy going on and you don't receive it, like why? Like why are you like so stuck to you doing it your way, or not allowing people to help you?
I know. Well, that leads right into kind of the next area of this is, okay, so why is it so hard to say yes or to receive an offer like that? And quite frankly, that's a good example that you said. I'm glad you said that about help with the rent, for example, or if you need money, for example. It's because receiving can require a certain amount of vulnerability and intimacy, because you actually have to let somebody in to receive that. Even for somebody to say, hey, you look great today, like you have to let that in to receive it. When somebody doing something for you, you have to let people into your life for that. And so for people who may not be as open or have more trouble with intimacy or vulnerability, like I've talked about that for me, it's like you'd rather just struggle than to be abundant and accept an offer or reach out and ask for help. So I think that's one of the biggest things is if you have intimacy issues.
I think, yeah, intimacy is huge. Another I think is the issue here is independence. Like you might feel like, nah, I don't need nobody's help. Like I can do everything by myself.
Black woman. I be saying that.
Man,
Right before I ask for help.
INDEPENDENT. I had to finish it. Sorry. But we were raised like let me say me. I was raised, my mom was like, make sure you can do everything. You don't need help from no man for nothing, blah, 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 which is cool. But I think that stunts us from growth and from allowing ourselves to receive, because we feel like something is wrong if we need help or we allow ourselves to be interdependent, which is when we can depend on each other. It's not just one-sided. And so I think that this whole mentality and this socialization of us like being independent women and being able to do everything, it's like, nah, dog, we're all here together. Like we're not islands.
And adding on to that and the whole women aspect of it is it may be hard to receive, and this is very true for me, because you don't want to feel like you owe somebody something. Or like they gonna be like, oh, they expect something else from you. So I think that could be part of it too. If it's not a clear or healthy interdependence, and it's like, but that may be unhealthy on my part. If it's like, oh, why am I, thinking that they're gonna want something, or I don't want to owe anybody, but yeah, I don't want to owe anybody. So, like, I think that's somewhat valid for some things, and it's somewhat valid when you know how people are, and based on the relationship with the person who's trying to give you something. I've had people, like I went to lunch with somebody one time, and they started texting, blowing my phone up, talking about, oh, why don't you let somebody love you? Let me in. I'm like, bro, first of all, like, what are you talking about? Like, it ain't that. You just ugly as hell, and like, I don't fucking like you. Like, we were supposed to be talking about some work stuff, and then they try to switch it up on me.
I hate that. Don't do that. Don't be that person.
A whole episode.
Can we? Okay,
we should do a whole episode on how to approach partnership / client relationship / like work stuff, because that ain't it. But anyway, again, I'm digressing. But yes, something about that where it's like you may not feel comfortable feeling like you want to give to another person.
And I want to make a disclaimer. So we're not saying receive everything that everybody gives you, because you really do have to have that trust and that level of intimacy.
You don't want to be chained in somebody's basement.
Dog, please don't. Please absolutely do not. But, and also like, if you know somebody throws something back in your face or does something, well, that's why I did this for you. Okay, no, cut all that off, because they're not actually helping you. We mean in like a healthy way, when people are giving, out of abundance and out of love and out of respect and out of like honesty and authenticity. So that's my disclaimer. But I think something else in addition to like being independent and not trusting or not wanting people to help us is like we might not feel worthy of something. And that could be a compliment, that could be praise, that could be support, that could be love, that could be money, that could be whatever the thing is. And I think that that's a good indicator of where you might be dealing with some insecurities in those areas where you might not feel up to par or enough. And so thinking about where you get most uncomfortable when people try to give you whatever it is on the spectrum of abundance and giving, that's a good indicator to some places maybe where you can heal.
And connected to that are, internal beliefs around like you shouldn't want more, or you shouldn't feel like you need more, or that you should be able to get by. And again, it's kind of like, why block the abundance in cases like that?
I think another one is fear for a plethora of reasons. But like one that came to mind is like, you don't want to give anybody the chance to let you down. So they're like, yeah, I'm going to help you. And then they back out, or they don't help you, or they're there and like, yeah, I'm always going to be here. And then they're not there. And so now you're like, well, I ain't going to let anybody help me because you've been hurt. And people have misused your trust or let you down. And that's a very real fear. Like that happens with people a lot in parents or partnerships, friendships, like all kinds of stuff. But you don't ever want to be led by fear because that's keeping you from abundance in the right areas.
So it's like you would push an offer away because it's like, you know what? I don't even want you to mess up, so I'd rather you not.
And I'll do a real example, like with my dad. So I didn't meet my dad until I was in my mid-20s, and I met him on my own accord. Like I reached out to him, found him, all that stuff. Like he has a history of like, you know, being here sometimes, but not all the time. And so like sometimes it's like I don't even want to accept anything from him because of the vulnerability, because it's like, dang, are you just going to let me down again? But also that's somewhere I need to heal. So like I was talking about insecurities, like that's something in him and I's relationship that we're building up. But yeah, it makes me kind of weary about accepting anything because I'm like, man, are you even going to be here, dog? Like.
That's real. That makes sense. So then if you recognize that you have particular insecurities or that it is difficult for you to receive, I wanted to look up and think about some ways like, all right, how can you be a better receiver? And then I saw this line in one of the docs I was reading that I really liked. I was like, oh, that sounds powerful, or something to like really remember and think about. And it said, learn how to say yes when the world is trying to make life easier for you. Ooh. And it's like, oh yeah, it's okay. I think also kind of, and I guess it's saying the same thing about kind of feeling like we need to be independent because also as people of color too, and it's like, you don't want to, sometimes we don't put ourselves in a place where we need something, or we have this thing about handouts. Like our parents may have grown up teaching us kind of like, don't take handouts from people, don't take things from people, or at least I know like in my house we did. And it's like, in general though, in life, why are we making things harder than they need to be? And I find that we do that in a lot of different places. Also, because sometimes as problem solvers, if you consider yourself a problem solver or an achiever, then it's on you to like almost create something that you have to overcome. And so a lot of times it's like we're making things harder than we have to when, like one of my clients, for example, the other day, she called me and was like, hey, you know, I know you're putting this event together and like, you know, what else do you need? And I was telling her the things on my list that I had to work on or still check off for this. And she was like, okay, well, you know, we have, you know, these couple other folks who are her assistants. They're not necessarily my team members, but she was like, yo, don't spin your wheels. Like, don't do work you don't need to do. Like, lean on your resources, lean on these people. And I was like, oh yeah, like why am I, you know, like why make things more difficult when you know people are there who can help? Or even with your own team of people, if you have your own business or your own brand or whatever, it's like, actually delegate. So like for people who probably have over ownership of everything and don't delegate and all that, you probably have issues with receiving. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yo, let things be easy. It's okay. Like if you find $100, that's great. If somebody says, hey, Carlie, today, you know, I just want to give you this money, then you should be okay because that's, you know, life helping you out. Like take it.
Take it, receive the help, and I love that. And we have an entire episode on delegation also, so if you're struggling with that, please look that up.
Carlie's like the Rolodex of the episodes right now.
Gonna plug them all.
So what are some ways that we can be better receivers? Like what could we say to, you know, this week, like practice these things?
When somebody compliments you, say thank you and just own it. And don't try to rebut. Don't try to push it off.
Really
like,
feel it.
Man, you did great on the podcast this week. Yeah, you know, Lexi and I, we really worked on it. It's like they didn't say that. They said it to you. Like receive that. Just receive it and mean it and be like, wow, like I did a good job. Not saying blow your head up, not saying none of that stuff, just saying receive it and allow yourself to feel good in that moment for whatever they tell you.
And maybe, you know how with some things it's like you accept it and then you actually feel the feeling that you're kind of, you know, maybe trying to avoid. So like going back to the compliment thing, like if somebody's like, Carlie, wow, you look great today. And like really, you know, thank you. And really like feel that, like you'll feel better. Like you'll feel like you look good versus the whole like, oh man, I didn't even brush my hair today. Or like, oh, I know my hair is greasy today. Or like whatever the fuck it is. Like just if you actually say thank you and mean it, maybe you actually feel, maybe that kind of overcomes those like insecurities that may have come out if you didn't accept it. Another thing is working, of course, well, this isn't even easy. And this is a whole chunk of like, listen to every episode before this one.
Ever.
But work on eliminating those limited self-beliefs. So with the same compliment, like, if you need to be like, yo, I'm noticing like I don't accept compliments well about how I look, or I don't accept compliments well about my work, or whatever it is. You need to figure out and spend some time on, whatever those affirmations may be, whatever like beliefs, like, yo, I need to really focus on accepting those things and, work out what that looks like, whether that's through meditation, through therapy, through just breathing and reminding yourself who you are, whatever those things may be. But recognize those and notice where you need to work on that.
Yeah, and I challenge y'all to look at those and think about it, but also like journal and be like, well, why does it make me feel uncomfortable? Why are my looks the issue, or why is this the issue? So that's something to practice.
Like to help you uncover what the beliefs are?
Yeah, to help you uncover. So noticing whenever you get uncomfortable, maybe just writing it down, putting a note in your phone or something, and then exploring it. So like, man, Lexi compliments on my looks made me feel really uncomfortable. Why? Oh man, I thought I looked busted. And then looking at, do you have a pattern with this? Like, is this a pattern? Is this a one-off? And then what about it made you feel uncomfortable? And really just taking that time with yourself to reflect. And I think that could help you to be able to receive a lot better in certain areas. Another one is to receive graciously if somebody offers you something. Like, man, you are on my heart. I just wanted to give you this bread. Or you are on my heart, man. I really wanted to connect you.
Thank you and take it.
Just take it.
Accept it.
Accept it.
And then it's so funny because like every episode, it's like, how do you learn how to do this thing? By doing it. But but you'll notice for real. So like this week though, when somebody's like, it could be something simple like, oh, you want me to make this, make dinner, or like whatever it is. It's like, sure, absolutely, thanks. Like you'll notice when you get hesitant and just don't. Like just do the opposite, accept it. And then another thing, so after you've practiced like accepting people offering to help or offering to do something, the next level to graduate from that is practice actually making a request. Receiving doesn't have to just be somebody else coming to you. Receiving can be, Carlie, can I have this? And actually asking for it and then receiving it as well. So this could be something like, when you're at the restaurant and it's like, dang, I kind of want some of this or some extra this or like some onions on the side or whatever. But sometimes you're even scared, or maybe scared is not the right word, but like you're sometimes hesitant just to even have folks do like what they're supposed to do for your own order or whatever. Ask for that extra sauce. Be like, hey, yo, Chick-fil-A. Well, they're always going to say yes. My pleasure. And so
The smile.
Yeah, but actually make a request. Like start making requests and ask for what you really want, or ask for, what you're desiring. And I think that is a huge thing because we always talk about like closed mouths don't get fed. And as long as you're not wilding, like to ask for things is a numbers game. Like you're going to, of course, receive more the more you ask. And also I think that's reflective on and dependent upon making sure you do have good relationships. Like, well, I was going to say nobody, but people can feel comfortable asking for things and they don't ever do anything for you. But as a giver, and you do for other people. And so here's a good example. Like, I know, like, I spend a lot of my online time, or I used to more, honestly, giving resources or spitting game or whatever. And so I never really asked for anything. But now when it's like, oh, like, my friend is trying to raise money to take kids to the movies, and I remember putting something up, like, yo, they're trying to raise money, they're trying to do X, Y, Z. And I got like $3,000 to my Cash App that day. And I was like, well, and I passed it along, but I was like, oh, like, why did I receive? And I think it's because I need to recognize like I do give, and that people, when you're a giver, people enjoy the opportunity to reciprocate and to give back and to support in whatever ways. And then B, because I don't ask often, it's like when you do ask for something, people are sure, like they'll step up, no problem. But it's like, yo, don't be afraid to ask for something and to ask for a support, whether you need it or just want it. Practice that. Like, practice asking for something.
I think that's huge. We might have to do a whole episode on asking for things, asking for help. I think that is a huge topic that a lot of people struggle with, and I super struggle with that. I'm getting better, but I still struggle. And it's something that you said made me think about this past week. I had one of my clients, like from Thrive, reach out and was like, is there anything you're doing, like anywhere else I can support you? Like anything else I can buy? Like how else can I support you? She's like, because, you do so much for me and so much for us, and you don't ever ask for anything. And it's like, wow, like, So just allowing me to receive that, like, wow, thank you. Like,
be more
I will
open
let you
about
know.
what I could use. And a lot of times, to what you're saying now too, is like sometimes I'll be like, shoot, what do I need? Like, what could I use? But you only know when it's like you don't have it or when you're struggling. But like in general, it's like, yo, how can I get more into a practice of talking about what's going on in a way where people can have an opportunity to fill in the blanks? And one thing I like about the new planner that I got, that Celeste had got me, we talked about her last week. One thing I like about this high performance planner is one of the questions that you think about, like during the morning questions you put in, is how can I think it's like what uncomfortable thing can I do, or like how can I receive something or whatever. And every time I'll be putting a blank there because it's like, I don't know, but that is something important to think about. It's like, yo, where can I receive assistance or help, or how can I do something uncomfortable today that will open me up, like, for more opportunities. Sometimes it's just asking for something, could be asking for an introduction, or I'm trying to do this. Do you know anybody I should talk to? Like, it doesn't have to be giving you a thing. So yeah, that could be a whole episode. Probably we should write that down. There's a couple things
there was
we should
two.
write
I'm about to say we got two.
We're gonna have to
we can write
re-listen to
down.
the episode and see what we said. But yeah, it's not that easy when you're so programmed and so used to like feeling like you should be doing things for people all the time. But we really need to take more time to just step back and like let things happen around us and for us.
And let people do for you, and just notice the joy of you like actually giving them the space to do things for you. Like, I've recently did that, and it just brought the person so much joy. And I'm like, wow, like I had no idea. So now I like consciously think about opportunities to give them a chance to help or to do whatever for me.
Yeah, that's good. So this week we want you guys to focus on all of that. We don't have a shout out, do we?
We do not have a shout out.
Because I can't think of anybody quickly, but we don't have anybody to shout out this week. But if you have anything going on, allow us to give to you and shout you out, shout out your business, shout out anything you have going on. And we'll be happy to do that because we love trying to think about, the people in our networks that are doing great things and highlight them as well.
Absolutely. And then the question of the week, I think it should be whatever that question is in your planner. Can you think
Let me find it. Hold on.
We're going to pause.
We'll cut this part right here. Watch it be not what I said it was.
At all, but in this case.
They're hard though. But you're right. Yeah, we can use all these questions. Shoot. Y'all finna get this whole
Aha. Like where them blanks at?
One of them had, that day I sent you that note is because I had put your name in there. Okay, so the one that I never answer is, here we go. I knew it said something about asking. One thing, okay, so let me actually phrase this as a question for y'all. What is one thing you could do this week that is a little outside of your comfort zone, like trying something, asking for something, expressing something, or taking a big step? So it's that asking for that I noticed they put that in there, and it's like, dang, that's weird to think that asking for something outside of your comfort zone, but also I never can think of anything to ask for. But I need so much, so it's like, why is that hard? Right, I need a whole lot of things.
Need all the things.
So yeah, what's something that you could ask for that's a little outside of your comfort zone?
My friend who offered to help me with something financially, not rent, but that would be nice too. But my friend who offered to help me with something financially, I'm actually going to call back and be like, hey, so I'm going to take you up on that.
Oh, so you already told him nah? You already told him nah, you good?
No, I just told him thank you. And if I do need it, I will reach out. And it just makes me, uncomfortable in my chest, like I get anxious.
Like,
but that means that I need to do it. So now I'm about to reach out and be like, hey, so you know that thing that you offered?
That's real.
I'm going to take you up on it. Appreciate you. I'll let y'all know how that goes next week. What about you?
She'll be on the podcast like, smell like broken here. Dang. Because look, I just said I need so much, but now I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to ask for. I've never answered that question because I don't know. I'm going to ask for, or maybe kind of what I asked for today. This may be cheating, but it was kind of hard though. So with one of my clients, we have a group, like Capsocial has the team working on it. And I've been in all the meetings. I'm leading everything. But I was like, you know what? Like, in the last couple of days, y'all been moving and getting content created and put up and doing the things. And I was like, and it was good. So I don't need to be in the meetings. And so my ask to them was, hey, you guys take over. Y'all continue to have y'all's meetings. Atali, who's the kind of like the social media manager on this client, it's like, can you develop out like what y'all's week to week will look like, and then y'all just do it? Because I mean, I don't need to do everything, and I don't need to be the one bottlenecking stuff. So I think it's just asking for folks to step up into ownership where they're already doing good work anyway. So that's what I'm trying to work on, like not step on their toes.
Yeah, I think
let
that's a
people
good
actually
one.
do their job and let people just do work.
I don't think that's cheating. I think that's a good one. But I also am going to ask you more offline, other things. And then y'all can hit us at Carlie's Couch, at Lextopia, at CC Fierce.
What you
on
gonna ask me?
Instagram.
What?
More things that you need.
Oh,
Just
I
as
don't
a
even
friend,
know.
now that I know that that's a thing that you do, this is what I do with friends. Now that I know that that's a thing, like occasionally I'm be like, yo, what you need, doc? Like, how you doing?
Maybe, would that be because you know how it's like you're supposed to speak, what you want type thing. But maybe because it's weird, like when asked that, I really don't know what I would say. Like, what do I need? But maybe that could be something to kind of like through this week journal or think about. It's like, what do I need each day?
Yeah.
But I don't, that's hard.
Or like, what do I need? Or what can I be supported on? Or where
Yeah.
could someone assist me? Or, you
But
know
yet
what I
at
mean?
the
Like,
end of the
thinking
day,
about
though, it's like, it's easy to be like, what did I need today? And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, I needed X, Y, and Z. Even if it's like support or just help working on something or whatever. But looking across it is like,
Well, so maybe looking back, so maybe it's I would almost say like by daily things. So in the morning, thinking about things you might need. And then at the end of the day, like what did I actually need? Or what did I not foresee as something that I could have used?
yeah, maybe that's something to journal and think about. Because I know I do have your name in one of my notebooks. I was doing sorry, we're all off. I was doing the working through the Build a Story Brand book, which everybody should check out if you have your own brand or business. It really helps you getting your like marketing messages together or the messaging of your business together. And I was thinking about things and like, just getting a biz dev and brainstorming mode. And I was thinking about like the curriculum or like things that I could create. Like forever, it's like so many things I could create that just sit there that people could use or buy or whatever. But it's like, I'll never get to it. So I was writing that out and I was like, oh, I need to hit Carlie about this. I need to hit Carlie about this. But I just don't, because it's also like, damn, like, how do you have time for all this? But yeah, all that to say, I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready too, and I just had practice this weekend. Oh, wait.
Yeah, practice.
That could be our shout. Well, oh, no, that'll be our next shout out. Yeah, I helped somebody do a whole course and curriculum stuff this weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to shout them out? It's not too late.
I don't actually. Well, yeah. So shout out to Stacey Ann Russell. She is launching Idea to Pitch. So taking your business from idea to pitch if you want to get VC funding. If not, from idea to implementation. She has hella degrees. She's been like a chemical engineer, nuclear engineer, and she has her master's in business administration from USC, right on. And so she has hella experience. She's a teacher, I think the only Black woman teacher for the National Science Foundation. Oh, I'm giving y'all her credentials because she's legit. And she's launching this course, and I helped her finish filming and getting it all together this weekend.
That's great.
Yeah, it was exciting. She's asked me to work in my gifts, which is a cool thing. So she was asking for help, which also is cool. And she's launching that. So if you have a business, if you're unsure, if you feel like you kind of need somebody to walk you through it more than just like Googling, finding the steps, she's giving all of the worksheets, all of the videos, everything that you need. And I think she has a practice webinar coming up maybe this week or next. So I'll link everything in the bio or in the episode notes, and you can hit her up. Idea to pitch.
Cool. Yeah, Stacey Ann is very smart and very personable, so that's exciting. I'd love to check out and see what she's working on, so that's cool. So yeah, this week, receive, baby, live life abundantly, and think about like what's holding you back from receiving.
Hit us up.
Adios.
Bye, y'all.